Hey y'all, and welcome to How to Stay at Home Ec. So today I'm going to talk about artwork. And I'm a very creative person. I love to hang the artwork that I make in my house. And I think that one of the things that is very touching to me is to have things that make me feel good when I look at them, or make me feel warm, make me feel invited, cozy, present. And so one of the things that does that for me, and actually I'm going to just kind of move over and say I love t-shirts. I don't wear t-shirts. I actually don't like wearing t-shirts, but I love t-shirts. And one of the things that I love about t-shirts is that people make t-shirts with the most amazing sayings on them. Like, I used to buy a t-shirt just because it was funny. I'd never wear it, and when I went to declutter, I'd get rid. And I just I love the catchy phrases that are on t-shirts. It's kind of like a greeting card. Sometimes I will buy a greeting card just because that card speaks to me and it makes me feel so good. I have some greeting cards that I've bought and never plan on giving to anyone. And every once in a while I'll give one away. But generally speaking, I like quippy little phrases and sayings and things like that. So I'm going to blend those two things today. I get kind of anxious when I think, oh, well, I'm going to make a thing to put on the wall. Like, I don't like that feeling. I don't like the maybe anxiety that comes from it when I like sit down and when I think about sitting down with like a canvas and a paintbrush to make something for my home. Like, it's a lot of pressure for me. And so one of the things that I'm going to do today is I have a t-shirt that I have been planning, well, I planned on wearing. I bought it too small, and so I'm not going to wear it today. I'm actually going to make it into a wall hanging. I have done this before. So a couple of years back, my sister and I went to a place called Papaya, and I bought like probably, I don't know, maybe 10 articles of clothing there. And I wear probably 3 times a week 8 of those pieces of clothing. I may have ended up donating. We'll say 11. I bought 11. I maybe donated 1 or 2. So let's say 12. I bought a lot of things when I was there. But I bought things that they were really inexpensive and they were super cute. 2 things didn't end up working for me. I think I donated 1, gave 1 to my sister. That was like an overcoat thing. About like probably 8 of them I wear at least 3 times a week, and I like rotate because they're my favorite shirts. This is not one of them, but they're my favorite shirts, and so I wear them all the time. But I bought 2 shirts while I was there that I knew weren't going to work for me, but I absolutely loved them, and they were the only size where it was like 0S or something like that. You know, that like, or not 0S, that's one size, but like extra, extra small. Whatever that is, whatever that looks like, it was too small, and I knew. One, I planned on doing something with, and this, if any of y'all have been in my bedroom or in my bathroom, my guest bathroom before, this was like a super thin sweatshirt. And it's Lilo and Stitch, and I love Lilo and Stitch. It's Ohana means family. Family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. And I just absolutely love this. I love Stitch. He is my favorite. He's my spirit animal. And I love that movie. I would watch it all day, every day. And so I put a shirt in a frame, and it is a centerpiece in one of my rooms. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. With the second shirt that I bought that I knew that it was too small, but I was like, oh, I'll just wear it as like a tube top, which I actually wear those. So I have a really long torso, so I wear like high pants sometimes and short shirts, and I've got like the midriff, and I don't care if nobody thinks that that's cool. It's very comfortable on my body and I like it a lot. So this is a shirt that I bought. It's Free to Be Wild. And one of the reasons why I couldn't wear it as a tube top, I actually think it's really cute, but one of the reasons why I couldn't wear it as a tube top is because this part right here was so small. It was like up on my neck. Not a big fan of that. One of the reasons why I don't wear t-shirts. So I like tried to rip it and I was going to cut it. Like I've been known to cut shirts before, but there's not a whole lot to cut out of the neck. So I was like, you know what? I love the Free to Be Wild. I want that in my space. Maybe I don't have to wear it. Maybe I can just make it into a centerpiece in one of my rooms. So I'm excited to do that today. Yesterday, I went to Target, had to get some like moisturizer and cleaning products and toilet paper and the things. While I was there, I got, and I'm holding this, it looks like it's upside down. It's because it's upside down. Somebody put it in upside down. It's a cheap frame. It's not, I think I maybe paid $5 for it. It's Room Essentials. It's not like a big deal, but it is in the color scheme. I wanted something that was inexpensive. I didn't want to spend a lot of money making this. I maybe spent $5 on that shirt, and I'm maybe spending like $5 on this. So pretty cheap for something that I'm going to love, and I'm a big fan. So I'm going to, first things first, I'm going to take off this sticker. I believe that when you put things in your house, you've got to take off the stickers. It's a part of ownership. I think that it's chintzy and slightly terrible to hold on to have things in your home that haven't been inducted into your home, and taking off the label is one of the ways that I do that. So anything that I buy for my home, the act of taking off the label means to me that I bring it into my home. It's almost like a spiritual thing, and that I have a place for it, that it has meaning. And if I can't get a label off, that is just the worst. Goo Gone is good stuff if you can't get the label off, but I will, run it under hot water or do whatever I need to do. I think I still have a pair of candlesticks that are not particularly washer friendly that I cannot still to this day get the entire sticker off, and I'm working on it. So, all right, so I bought this really cheap frame, glass front. It looks like the two hangers, so it's hard to see with the light, but it's got the hanger here and the hanger low, and then it's got the little flippy do if I wanted to put it on a counter. So I'm going to open it up, and it turns out this one actually doesn't like come off all the way, which is weird. Didn't know that yesterday, but I'm not too upset about it. It's got a piece of cardboard in it. I'm going to keep that cardboard. So keep that for yourself, because it's going to help us with our art project. I didn't know if there was going to be one. You can check when you're at the store. But the piece of paper that's like the upside down people on a beach or something was glued in. Don't know why that was, but I'm just going to pull that off. I'm going to pull the piece of glass out if I can. Oh gosh. It's pretty stuck in there, guys. No. Don't cut yourself. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it was a little bit glued in on the bottom. Super weird. Okay, so I'm going to take off a little bit of this sticky stuff. Like I said, don't cut yourself. These edges can be kind of sharp. I brought Windex, which is easy to find. If you guys checked out my last video, I cleaned out underneath my sink and went through some cleaning products for your house. I'm going to wash the inside of the frame, which sometimes you actually don't want to do if you're doing this with like a photo, because you could be doing this with a photo. If you don't want to do it with a photo, because Windex might like warp your photo if it's not like dry, or if it gets, I don't know, heat on it or something. Windex isn't really good for pictures. You can use like soapy water if you're worried about whatever it is that you're putting in the frame. But I'm just going to do one side because I'm going to wash the other side in a minute. I might give the edges on the other side a little buff because I'm going to put this back in the frame. I'm not going to be able to wash those sides. So maybe I'll do a little bit of the back, but so now I'm going to slide the glass back in. Glasses in. So we've got open book, glasses in, and then I've got a template here. Check this out. So what I'm going to do, actually, these things are so funny. Years ago, and I mean years, I got a roll, and you don't have to use this. You can use tape. You can use double-sided tape. You can use a little bit of glue maybe, or you can use nothing. You could pin this. But years ago, I bought a roll of Zots. And Zots are like, it says acid-free clear adhesive. And they're little tiny rounds. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a tiny little round of stickum, of glue, some sort of a glue. So crazy. I used them actually to make my very first mask when I had to, go out and work. So that was kind of a silly thing. It was held together with, Zots. So these have come in handy in a lot of different ways. So that's kind of a fun story. But anyway, I cut down the side of this shirt because I know that I'm not going to need this whole thing. Trying to decide how much I kind of like the trim on this. But I don't want to cut it up too much. So trying to decide if I want to, I am going to cut it because I need to. Okay. So I've cut all the way down one side. I'm going to cut all the way down the other side. And actually, I'll put this down just a little bit so you can see. So I'm going to cut around this, just because I'm not sure if I might want to use it for another craft project, just because I like it so much, the little trim. So I'm going to cut down. You could just cut right through it and you would, and not all shirts have have a weird fringe. So on the bottom. In fact, many do not. Okay. Oh. So now I'm just going to cut the top off along this rip. Okay. So now I've got a piece of fabric. So I'm going to take the piece of fabric. I'm going to take this nice little guy right here, and I'm going to put a Zot in each corner. Okay. So if you try to put these on your hands, if this is something you have, it's like a scrapbooking thing, but if it's something that you have, trying to move them with your hands is not a great idea. The best way to do it is just to turn it upside down and stick it on and pull it off. So you'll notice I've got my 2 Zots. I'm going to use 2 more Zots. And like I said, you actually don't have to use an adhesive at all. This is just going to make it a little bit easier to cut. So there we go. So I've got my Zots. And now I'm going to take my Free to Be Wild and I'm going to lay it. Oh, I've got a Zot on my hand. Okay. See, they're so sticky. And like I said, it has been years. So it's just silly how, I just keep using them. But they're on a roll, so they never get unsticky. Okay, so now I'm going to just lay my Free to Be Wild on my cardboard. And I'm going to play with it a little bit. So I'm going to kind of pull the edges. I'm going to make it the angle that I want. And the great thing about this piece of cardboard is, so now you're going to know what it looks like in the frame just by centering it on this piece of cardboard. And some of the cardboards are thinner. If I had to, I might even use, like if it didn't have a piece of cardboard or something, I might even use this, especially because this doesn't come all the way off. It would be hard to do that. So I'm just going to pull on it. I could, if I really wanted to, I could set this sideways, but I don't think I want that. I think I want like a more you know, circular sort of centered situation. But that's up to you. You know, it's your t-shirt, it's your world. So today I was going through some of my clothes in my closet, trying to decide which ones I kind of wanted to declutter, which ones don't serve me very well, and I found a shirt that I actually quite like. I don't like the shirt, but I like what it says, and so I might be doing this with another one. But okay, so this is what I've got. Little Free to Be Wild. I think it's centered, but it's hard to tell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure it looks like, because I'm going to have this horizontal, it looks like it's on top this way. So I'm going to flip the frame and go this way. And then if this is the top, then I'm going to put it in here. And this is really forgiving. So I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to look at it and see if I like it the way that it is. Check that out. Cute. I like that. Okay, so things that I like and things that I don't like. I don't like that this is kind of buttoning right here. And I actually want the Free to Be Wild a little bit more in the center, so I'm going to pull it down a little bit. And then we'll get to cutting. So I'm pulling this out. Ooh, glass came out too. Golly. Loud. Okay, so I decided, so I'm going to pull the Zots and set it back up. And pull this, and I didn't know that I wanted the Free to Be Wild in the center until I looked at it. Till I got it in the frame. Sometimes you don't. But if you cut before you get it in the frame, then, you know, you don't even know what you want. So this looks a little bit more centered. And so I might even take off the Zots because I don't like the look of the Zots like pulling. If I can't get them to not pull, and to show that the Zot is there, I might actually even just take those off. But for right now, they are helpful a little bit to kind of hold things in place. Okay, so I've got it again. I'm going to try it again. So this is the top. Maybe I shouldn't have moved it. There we go. And this doesn't have to be perfect right now. Like I said, we're going to be cutting. We're just mostly getting what we want to cut around. That looks pretty stellar. I like that quite a bit. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. So I'm going to do that. I think I can cut around it, and I'm not going to cut I'm not going to cut like every edge off. I'm going to give myself a little bit of wiggle room. So what I'm going to do now is, because it's like zotted in place, I'm going to cut around, and I'm going to leave, for right now, I'm going to leave like a 1/2 inch on the side. You can leave yourself like a whole inch if you're worried that it's really not in the place where you want. But a 1/2 inch is fine. And it doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to see this part. You could leave yourself less. There's a tiny bit of an edge on the inside of this frame that you won't see, but I would be worried about leaving any less. Just at the first cut, you know. If you wanted to cut it again, that would be fine. Okay, so I've got my Free to Be Wild. I've got it, you know, on here. I think I pretty much like it the way that it is. I don't know. I'm worried about taking off the Zots because I don't want it to shift, but I'm also thinking that I don't. We'll see what it looks like once it gets in. I'm kind of stretching it a little bit because it actually is a little bit wrinkled. I mean, it's a t-shirt. So it actually is a little bit wrinkled. And so I'm trying to kind of, the frame itself will press them out. But okay, so I've got my little guy. It looks you know, it looks pretty all right. Pretty all right. All right, we're going in. See what happens when we put it in there. Okay. So it looks cute. I like it. What I don't like, see what I mean about the zots? There's like a little buckle right there, and there's a buckle right there, and a buckle right there. I think that that's something that I need to make sure doesn't happen. So I'm going to take this. And this just goes to show that this isn't a perfect situation. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? This could be interesting. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this side, and this side actually looks like maybe the best side, but the zots are still sticky. I'm thinking about just flipping it over and using the zots on the other side. And yeah, I did just move it. It was perfect, and I moved it. But here's the thing about that. That's okay, because it is the right size. It's the size that we wanted it to be, that's really what matters. So what I'm doing now is I'm stretching the fabric around the corners so that it touches the zots and is pulled a little bit. And I'm okay with that. Actually, quite like that. It's a little bit, it doesn't look as much of like a circle, but that's okay. I'm not too upset about that. It looks kind of like it's coming out at you, which I don't mind. Free to be wild, right? So let's put it back in, because sometimes you can't tell until you go in. Putting it back in, kind of closing it up a little bit. Check that out. I like that. Oh, you guys can't see it very well. I was looking at it myself. Free to be wild. So good. Okay, so that's, that's that. Now the only thing is to clean up the edges, and I think that that will be relatively easy. I could cut it, I could zot it, I could just kind of fold it over, which I think is what I'm going to do. Fold it over, making sure that there's no little hangy outy bits. And then I'm just, moving these things over. You can feel that there's like a little bit of pressure on the inside, but that's no trubs. That's that. Okay. Okay. And now, last but not least, I'm going to take my handy dandy Windex and wipe it out. Wipe out the front, wipe out the sides, and there you go. T-shirt artwork. I'm a big fan of this, guys. Like I said, it's not very expensive, and if you have a t-shirt that you just love the saying of, even if it's worn out, there's places in your house for like that sort of a faded, almost vintage look, especially once like a t-shirt gets a hole in it or something like that. So I hope you like this video. I hope you make yourself some artwork. And if you don't feel like painting for hours, this is a great little trick. So I hope your home is loved and lovely. I hope you guys are doing well. And I will see you on the next episode of How to Stay at Home Ec. Have a good day.